Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where I have new videos every Tuesday and I share an extra personal monthly video or Zoom call. It rotates every other month with my patrons. If you're interested in finding out about supporting me over there, that link is always down in the description. Today's video is going to be a look at Hemlock and Oaks planners. I have a couple new ones that are not in my last review. So I have their new minimal planner. I also have their 2023 weekly planner and their 2023 dated daily planner. So these are really exciting, and these were not in my last review video. They did not have a dated daily planner about 6-7 months ago when I did my last review video. I also didn't have the 2023 planners in hand and their new minimal planner. So I'm really excited to share these with you today. The undated daily planner was in my last video. I'll just give a quick look at it today, but I will link that last video if you want details on that. I also have their tabs to share, their task sticky notes, and their tabs come with a tab ruler to help you be able to line up and put those on your page. And then we'll do a quick look at their page versus the Hobonichi Cousin, because that is a question that comes up with this planner. It is very similar in weekly layout to the Hobonichi Cousin, but the weekly does not include daily pages, and you do not have the thin Bible-like Tomio River paper that is in the Hobonichi Cousin. In the Hemlock and Oak, you have thick 120 GSM paper, 80-pound paper. Everything that Hemlock and Oak does, they try to really be good to the environment. That's all on their website. It is a planner that is printed in Canada, and it is a woman-owned company. It's a really cool company that has grown pretty fast in the past couple of years, and I'd love to hear all your thoughts down below on it, whether you've used them or not. This is one of those reviews that's a little bit less prepared, where we're just going to kind of discover it together. I have done a pen test and everything. I have kind of flipped through them, but it's just a less curated, less prepared review. Hemlock and Oak did send me these planners, but this is not a sponsored review. So let's jump in. Let's start. I think it would be good to start with the basic weekly planner and then look at the minimal planner and see the differences in there. I will also kind of list down, so if there's kind of stuff I forget to go over, I will list what they sent me, the differences are between the minimal and the weekly planner, and I'm going to show you the size difference in those. If you guys hear any noises going on outside, I really hope my mic doesn't pick them up, but if you do, it's because they are replacing all the water lines on our street. It's been in our whole neighborhood, I mean, preventatively, but it's been going on our street for a little over a week, and so it's been very hard to find any time to film when it's not too loud. Right now, what they're doing is not extremely loud, but that could change any moment. That's what happens. It can change any moment. I don't ever know when they're going to start the cement jackhammers and the pounding down cement, like when they pat it back down or whatnot. So if it gets really loud, I'm so sorry, but I've been putting off filming, and now, you know, if I want to stay on my video schedule and have a video every week, I've just got to film and hope as I see them out my window, because they are on my end of the street. They're right across from me. As I see them right there, and let's just hope they don't have anything loud to do while I get through this video. Their 2023 weekly planner, let's just compare the size at first. The minimal planner is a little bit smaller, as you can tell, in width and in height, a tiny bit in height, but mainly in width. Let me tell you just the size differences. So the minimal planner is a typical A5, 5.3 by 8.3. At least if I remember right, that's your typical A5. Your weekly planner that is not the minimal is a little bit bigger. It's 6.35 by 8.5. Of course, all of this is on their website, but I'm just going to try to give you the specs. This one has a 4.3 millimeter grid, and this one has a 3.7 millimeter grid. So as you went a little bit smaller for the minimal weekly planner, the grid went a little bit smaller. And you can probably see that if we line up the grids here. So your normal weekly planner has the 4.3 millimeter grid, and the minimal has the 3.7 millimeter grid. The normal weekly has 224 pages. The minimal has 192. The minimal has 24 notes. The normal has 20 notes. You just have more goal planning and reflection pages and everything in the normal weekly planner. But some people were saying they were getting feedback. They just want a little bit smaller planner, a little bit more portable, lightweight, and they don't want all the extra goal planning in there. And so they just kind of took it down to the very minimal, calling it, the minimal planner. So there is, not only is it a tiny bit smaller, but in width and height, but it is a bunch smaller in how many pages are in there. It does make it feel quite a bit lighter. I mean, it does feel lighter, but it's not like this planner's heavy. So if you are loving what's in the weekly, I mean, don't think in your mind, oh, it's so big and so heavy compared to the minimal, because it's really not. And so if you're wanting those extras, I would say go ahead and go for it. Now, I just left the belly bands on here so you could see what they looked like when they came. This is a beautiful, I don't know if they call this vegan leather. It doesn't have that soft touch feel, so it has a more hard feel, like a book. You could stick a sticker on it. It'd be great. It's really beautiful sage green color, and they have gold accents. Now, these planner charms do not come on your planner. They are $9 extra, and then they will attach them. So you can get the planner charm attached. It does make it have a little feel of just, it's a little bit fancier. It gives you that feel of just, your book is special. And it also makes it really easy to grab that charm because it's heavier, and it makes that stand out. And their ribbons are plenty long for my ribbon test. I love that. All the ribbons are plenty long to do that and open how I like to. They are all satin colored ribbons, and they're satin ribbons, and they coordinate with the color of book you get. So you get a tan, an ivory, and then matching the color of your book. And the same on these ribbons. They also attach their $9 ribbon charm, which is like a little leaf, and then the tan and the ivory with it. And same thing, your ribbons are even a little bit longer in the minimal planner, I think, because they made them the same length, and the minimal planner is a little bit smaller. So the ribbons are a little bit longer. The minimal planner is made of their linen. It feels like a coated linen to me. And so hopefully spills would slough off. They have gold in 2023 there, and their little leaf on the side, on the back, hemlock and oak. Although with linen, sometimes little specks of things tend to stick to it. So I don't know, if you have a dog or a cat that sheds hair, then that may not be good for you. Although it does feel like it's coated, obviously those little specks still stuck to it. So that is something to just consider. Let's open up and we're going to walk through the weekly planner. Your end pages are just speckled ivory. You have a nameplate page. Then you have a table of contents, which is nice so that you can easily find everything. Every page is numbered. And then we go into, you have a little information here on the planner itself, why it was developed, the different parts of the planner. They go through identify values, create goals, and task and review. And they tell you what their little icons mean. And then you go into your 2022 reflection at the beginning of your 2023 planner. Now, this planner does do a really good job of laying flat, but this hasn't been opened yet. You do have to massage it a little bit, especially, if you're in the beginning. Look, that's just a few pages in, and I haven't even opened it there yet, and it lays flat so well. So their lay flat design really is done well. You just have to give it a little massage. It depends on where you are in the book. You do have to break in the book. So some of your pages might pop up there when you get to like the middle, but just massage it. Your crease binding really does lay very flat there in the middle. So let's go back here. We were at the 2022 reflection. You have some questions here. You have some looking back on 2022. And then you have 2023. What are your core values? Your top 5 values that you want to focus on. And they give you a whole bunch here to help you just jumpstart you. They do give you prompts throughout. Goal creation, so they give you a lot of questions in your goal creation, but you have 1 page per goal right here to fill out. So your goal, what values does this goal support? Why do you want this goal? How will you get there? Break down your goal into 4 milestones. What habits will you need to achieve these milestones? And highlight the most important one, timeline or review date. And that is a page per goal. It looks like you have 4 of those goal pages here. And then they talk about attainable habits. And I think habits are a huge part. For me, routines and habits are the things that keep me on track with most of my goals because they're usually around my habits. they talk about attainable habits, and you have a habit per page here. Oh no, like I said, we're going to be exploring this together. You have 2 habits per page. Habit, cue, why is this habit important? What are the specifics and the reward? And then another one. So 4 habits per page, and you have 8 habit total spots there. You have a year at a glance at 2023, the year that this planner's for, and then planning ahead, you have a year at a glance at 2024. There is a Monday start on your monthly calendars for this planner. Then you have 2023 planning. So this would be great for either goals or marking vacations, kids' days off school, whatever you want to mark here for the year. And there's plenty of your light grid room here to write in. Your weekends are grouped together and shaded there. Then you have holidays listed for Canada and the US. And then you have important, just this page you can fill in with a light graph grid there. Then you go into your January 2023. So this is before every month in this planner. What can you do to get closer to your goals this month? What milestones are you focusing on? What boundaries will you set for yourself this month? List 3 small positive ways you can carve out time for self-care. And then what habit do you want to solidify this month? And frequency. And here's your habit tracker for that month on that one habit you're going to work on, and your reward. And then a notes page. You can work out mind map, journaling, writing gratitudes every week. And there's a little quote there from Oprah. I'm sure there's a different quote every month. Then you go into your monthly spread. Like I said, it's a Monday start. You have a really light graph grid on your days here. So that gives you nice lines to write on, but they're really light. You have moon phases noted. You have holidays noted here. And let's see if they note US and Canada holidays. Well, I'd probably have to flip through a few months to be able to tell that. Yes, they list US and Canada holidays on here, and they just write whether they are US or Canada on there. And they are noted in kind of a dark brown there, or a light brown, with the rest of the page being gray. Then after your monthly layout, you go straight into your weeks. Here were just all the specs. They're designed in Vancouver, British Columbia, made in Canada. And this particular one comes in 7 colors for the cover, so lots of choices. And let's look at a weekly spread here without my notes. But let's see, did I do the pen test? I did the pen test in the minimal planner, so we will look at it in there when we get to the minimal planner. Let's just look at the basic layout here. So your grid's going to be a little bit bigger in this one than the minimal planner, but I believe all the same page. Yeah, everything is the exact same on your page layout. It's just a little bit smaller page and a little bit smaller grid. So if you're someone who writes bigger, even if you don't want all the goal setting stuff, I would say you want to go with the full weekly planner. At least that's what I would tend towards, being someone who writes bigger. You have Monday start. You have your notes section here, your focus, your intentions, tasks. You have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 task tick off boxes. Then you have a nice section at the bottom that's completely open with the graph grid. I really love that. I love having open section under a vertical layout to make lists and notes. You have 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., but you could go later because it's blank under 10 p.m. And of course, every line in between is your half-hour line. So you have a whole line for half hours. You have your little heart down here for your exercise. You have a whole month at a glance right here where you are, and your week has a rectangle around it. And you have your days of the week, of course, there. So that is your weekly layout. Let's take a look and compare it to Hobonichi. Oh, I really hope you're not hearing all that loud water line work, because they are doing loud things now. Not the loudest things they've done, mind you, but they are doing loud things. Okay, so here is your Hobonichi page. As you can see, the grid is a little bit smaller in the Hobonichi. Let me see, I have it written down back here, but I didn't prepare. The Hobonichi Cousin has 3.7 millimeter grid. So it is closer to the 3.6 that was in your minimal planner here. You have bigger, which is the 4 point, I don't remember, the 4 0.3 millimeter, and this bigger one. So first of all, you have cream colored paper here. You have white here, as you can tell. You have a bigger grid here. You have a 24-hour timeline noted out here. You do have a focus box on each day, but this is an A5 size. So this is going to be closer to the size of your minimal planner. But you also have the calendar there for the month, the week that you're on circled. You have this paper, if you're not familiar with it, which nothing bleeds through. It's pretty amazing. It's such lightweight paper, so you can fit in all your weeks plus daily pages all into one A5 book. That's what makes it pretty amazing. But because of that, you do have this paper which does do serious ghosting, as you can see. So if you're not okay with ghosting, then this probably is not the planner for you. Things don't bleed through, like I said. That's what's awesome about this paper. But you do have serious ghosting. That was a Papermate Flare. I mean, some pens, of course, ghost less than others. This is just a gel pen. Gel pens tend to leave you can fill the indentations from when you've written in there. Lots of people use pencil boards behind this paper to write. If you want full Hobonichi review, I have a whole Hobonichi playlist you can go and check out. I have the weeks, I have the cousin, I have the A6 Techo, I have comparisons, I have accessories. I can't remember what else I have in there. Go check out. I have the Avec cousin on there too, where it splits the year, and lots of just how I've used these planners over the year. Obviously, I have loved these planners. I've wanted to make them work for me, as you can tell. I've used them off and on, 2 different cousins, but it's just never been one that I have stuck with. And I talk more about that in my Hobonichi videos. I just wanted to lay it out and let you see kind of how it looks, though, comparison to this, because that is what people ask. So if you don't need the daily pages all in one book, and you like the thicker paper, that a lot of planner people love, the 80-pound thicker paper, but you like the Hobonichi weekly layout, then this might be the planner for you. The one that is the similar size to the cousin is the minimal one. And of course, the cousin doesn't have all the goal setting in it, and it's closer to the grid. You have really light grid lines in here, though. You have darker grid lines in here. I personally love the Hemlock and Oak. There is your cousin. You can see it in size next to the minimal planner. Okay, it's a tiny bit smaller. So the minimal planner must not be a true A5, because the cousin is a true A5. And the minimal planner is a little bit taller and a little bit wider. So that is definitely something to note. Let's look at the rest of this planner. What comes with every month? So every month, when your month ends, you have a review page. The 3 memorable moments from this month. What gave you energy this month and what drained you? So just a positive, negative column. What gave you energy and what drained you? A lesson, thought, or growth moment from this month. And then just room to do memories for the month, or journaling, or anything you want. Mind map, webs, and there's a little quote up there: memory is the treasure and the guardian of all things. Then you go into set up your next month page. So then February, and you set up with these questions. What can you do to get closer to your goals this month? What milestones are you focusing on? What boundaries will you set for yourself this month? List 3 small positive ways you can carve out time for self-care. What habit do you want to solidify this month? And your habit tracker for that month. How many times a week are you planning to do it? And your reward. And then once again, it's the blank page with a quote. Then you go into your monthly layout, and you have a good amount of room for notes or lists or goals there, or meal planning. And then you always have going into your next month here in a light gray, or coming from the last month in a light gray. And you'll notice that because they use almost all the page real estate here, you have room for 6 weeks. So you're never going to have your days doubled over on months. Of course, February is a shorter month. So let's go and jump and look at March. But they still have your 6 weeks there no matter what month. And so you have a lot of going in or coming out room, and you don't have to have your days halved there on months that have the 5 weeks, which is really something that bothers a lot of people. At the bottom of each page, it tells you what month you're in and what page number that you are on. And I think that's nice for if you need to index things. It is always nice to have a page number. It also tells you your week number of the year down there really small. which I love how they've used that room. They have thought of every detail. So if the week number doesn't matter to you, well, great. But if it does matter to you, it's down there really small. So you can just keep track of it and it's not wasting any page real estate. I really love that. Let's see if there are, I wasn't sure if there were quarterly check-ins in here. We have a March review, then you go straight into April. So no, there's no quarterly thing. So you go through your months like that. Then at the end of your year, you have your December review, and then you have your 2023 review. You have what memories from 2023 do you want to cherish? 6 people or things you're especially grateful for in the last 12 months. Review your values from the start of the year. Have any of them changed? Why or why not? Reflect on your year. How have you grown? Has anything changed in particular? And then you have your notes pages. I think it was like 20 notes pages in this one that I said, somewhere around there. And then a quote by Robert Frost and your same speckled end pages, and you are done. Let's go back up here and we'll see how many notes pages, because one had more and one had just a few less between this and the minimal planner. This one had 20 notes pages. Yeah, so that was right. Okay, so that's your 2023 weekly planner. Now we're going to just pop through the minimal planner and see the differences. Besides being a little bit smaller, you have your same table of contents up here with the page numbers. You have your same kind of popping into a new year. List 5 people or things you're especially grateful for in 2022. So this is looking back. Write and reflect on meaningful memories from the last 12 months. Find words or mantras to inspire your new year, up to 10. What intentions do you want to carry into 2023? So even in the minimal planner, you have a little bit of reflection there. Then you have 2023 at a glance, 2024 at a glance. Then you have the same. So we're not going to spend as much time here because it is the same. The same look at your year. Holidays, same thing. Then you have monthly reflection. So there's just a little bit less of this. So you have a monthly reflection, but it's only 1 page. And then you have a 1 page going to your next month. So that is condensed. Write down 3 meaningful memories from the last month. What gave you energy this month? What drained you? Those boxes, and then reflections. Then list 3 positive ways you can carve out time for self-care. What is something that you, sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on. I'm trying to get close enough with the mic to see it. What is something that you want to do or that you are looking forward to? What are you feeling grateful for? What habit do you want to solidify this month? And then same thing with habits. Then you go into your monthly layout, which is the same. Then you go into your weekly layout, which is the same, but just a little bit smaller. Remember, a smaller grid because of a smaller page. Still has the focus, intentions, tasks, and then all your extra notes room at the bottom. Everything on the pages is the same. Page numbers, week number labeled, the dates for that week. So it's easy to flip through and see the dates of that week. I think that is genius too. They have thought of really a lot of little details in this planner. Here is me just planning out a week, kind of thinking how I would use it. I would personally not use the timeline. I would put any appointments or big things like that, timed things up top and highlight them. And then I would start to list out my day, like things I knew I was going to do, like my habit, my workout, and then list some weekly lists down here to work off of. Of course, you do have this list room too, but I just love having it at the bottom also. Once again, this book is 5.3 by 8.3. They all have the same 120 GSM 80-pound paper. This book has the 192 pages and 24 notes pages and 3.7 millimeter grid. And something I have failed to share for this entire video thus far is I do have a constant ongoing 10% off code with Hemlock and Oak. You can use it over and over on every purchase. They also make a beautiful bullet journal, which I reviewed in my last video a couple months ago, which I will link down here. The same one, I believe, with the undated daily planner. I think I had their bullet journal in there, but you can use 10% off code Amandasfavorites over and over on every purchase. And I have an affiliate link, which I would really appreciate you shopping through if my videos have helped you. That shows the company how many people I bring to them. And I also make a small percentage of the sale for my work in making these videos for you guys. So I really appreciate that. Here is the pen test. So let's get into that. Oh, and these planners, like this one was on sale for $48 when I checked, but normally $62. But I believe those are all Canadian dollars. So that would be less in US dollars. The charm, all that is probably Canadian dollars too. So it'd probably be less in US dollars. Let's look at the pen test. Here is the back of the pen test page. all the mild liners, all the pins, absolutely nothing even really showing through. This paper is so thick and substantial at the 120 GSM 80 pound. It is a very smooth paper though. There is no tooth to it, you guys. It is ultra smooth, but not slick. I would not call it a more slick paper. I don't feel like gel pens, they do not need like extensive time or anything to soak in. See, this is even a Pentel and Pilot Precise V5, which is not known for not smearing. And I went over that right after I wrote. Absolutely no smearing. This is great paper for gel pens. It writes so smoothly, yet you do not have the smear issue that you have to wait a lot of times. And like a cousin for the smearing, you don't have that. So that is something to think about. Okay, so that's your minimal planner compared with the 2023. And now we are just going to take a look at the dated versus the undated. Now, I have to say, when I just checked on their website, I did not see the dated daily planner, so they might be sold out. I'm not sure about that, but this is a beautiful color that they sent me. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful, especially next to the forest green. And they included a ribbon charm on this one too. I love the colors of these ribbons. These ribbons are a little bit shorter, but they still make it because of how big this dated daily book is. But look at the beautiful colors of those ribbons to coordinate with the cover. This is one of those linen covers, and so is this one. This undated, I completely went over in my last review video. I will link that down below. Let's see if I wrote any info in the front though. You do have a whole bunch of goal creation things and my ideal day and monthly overviews. All that is up front in the undated. All your monthly reviews are up front with your monthly layouts because it's undated. So they do all that up front. Then you get into your daily pages. Oh yeah, this is fun. I let Tara, my real life friend, if you follow me on Instagram, then you know her because I've tagged her a lot, who lives like 20 minutes from me. I let her borrow this planner to see if she wanted to purchase it. She did end up getting it in the dated. She has her neat handwriting in here in her days, but I won't show you her days to protect her privacy. But that's all her really neat handwriting in there. So if you're purchasing, don't forget to use my 10% off code every time, Amandasfavorites. Yeah, like this one was 66 Canadian dollars and it came out to 51.06 US. And they have a really good shipping rate for US. This has the 4.2 millimeter grid on here, and they have a free PDF of this to try in their downloads. This is 6.35 by 8.5, 256 pages, which gives you 186 daily pages. It weighs 1.3 pounds. So this review I had done a lot of prep and preparing for, and that's all in there. But this is your undated, which has 186 daily pages, it said, compared to your full year of daily dated pages. Undated daily is a great option because if you don't need it every single day, you can just pop in and out, or just for work days, Monday through Friday. And so you're not wasting pages. But then I do know people who love having a dated daily planner. We're going to walk through this one since this was not my last video. If you want a full walkthrough of what is in the undated daily, that video will be linked down in the description for you. So here we have the table of contents. We have 2023 and 2024, like the weekly. This is your same planning setup as the weekly. Holidays, same as the weekly. And your monthly layouts are exactly the same as the weekly. Then you get into your dated daily pages. Now this is how it lays open with being just at the very beginning of the book. And you can see how thick this is, you guys. You do have to be aware that this is a chunky planner because it's a daily planner that is all in a bound book. I'm trying to think if there's a dated daily planner, I mean, other than Hobonichi, where it's in a bound book and you have the entire year in one. I'm not sure I can think of one that I've reviewed. I'm trying to look at my shelves and think. I can't think of one right now off the top of my head that's like that. Other than, Hobonichi, but they have the very thin paper, and that's why they can fit in all your weeks, all your months, and all your days into one planner, but they don't have a whole bunch of extra pages in there. So here is your dated daily. Look how nice it lays flat in the middle. At different points, you will just have to, give it a massage to get it to lay open at different points. But if you want a dated daily bound book, oh yeah, Simplify Dapper Desk is all in one book. That is chunky too. Something I love about their daily page layout is your schedule does not take up half your page. You do have from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., but you have extra after 10 p.m. You could well go all the way to midnight or later. You do have a half hour before 5 a.m. and then you have half hour lines. You have a really light, nice grid. Then the bulk of your page is taken up with tasks, little tick off boxes every other line all the way down. Okay. And then you have an intention spot. You do have moon phases in there, your date really small at the top, and your focus for the day. I do love how they have not made the header huge, and they have really used the whole page for your planning, and they have given you a huge space for all your tasks. That is a big deal to me. You also get your date right at the bottom of the page along with a page number. So if you're flipping through, that is there, very light, and you can look for that, and it's easy to find it. But up front, if you notice, there was no goal planning pages at all or reflections pages in the daily, because you have 80-pound paper in here, 120 GSM for a full year, you guys. And so there's no room with that thick of paper. There's no room for extra pages. So the very last page is January 1st of 2024. It's hard when we're in January of 2023, right? To envision having gone through a whole nother year and that day. But that is your dated daily. There is it with just your undated daily. That's it with your weekly, and then your minimal weekly. So all these are the same size, height, and width, except for your minimal weekly, which is a little bit smaller. Okay, we got those all in screen. Just wanted to make sure. Then they have these little cute task sticky notes. And I have shared these in my last video, so we won't really extensively do anything with them. But I said in my last video, they seem like they stick pretty well, and they're just a really light grid with task tick off boxes there for, like, if you just, want to have this on your weekly planner and just have it for a daily list, basically. And you can write as many as you want to, need to redo them. Also, if you need to redo a whole day, basically, if, let's say a day went awry and you need to, you're like, I need a whole blank day. These are perfect. So I think this is a great product from them if you're using their planner. And then their tabs, I tested in the last video for you guys. So definitely go watch that if you want to see the tabs, because I did stick them on in the last video. If I remember, yeah, these are not tabs that stick out. Of course, they are meant to just be flush with the page, but you do have some stickers with them, like exercise, meditate, and self-care. All your tabs along with goals, habits, year, notes, bucket list, self-care, important. So if you want to be able to just flip through your planner and you can buy the color that matches your planner, some wildflower pictures, and then some appointment meeting stickers. So these are options that are available with Hemlock and Oak. Let me know all your thoughts down below, guys. Especially if you've used Hemlock and Oak. But even if you haven't, I want to hear any thoughts or questions you have. I truly do love hearing your comments and reading them. And I know everybody else does too. And the small companies also love to see what you think about their products. So we'll chat down in the comments. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.